Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Heather and I love helping you find your creative voice, come alive and all that. You might have clicked on this video because you saw the heading from burnout to breakthrough. I have been through both, burnt out and totally in my breakthrough. It's going to be a good year for you and for me, and I want to help you make this year be a breakthrough year, because we don't want to go through that burnout stuff. Today, I want to share with you 4 reasons why we need to take time for ourselves and stop the burnout ever happening. Let's go. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this burnout stuff, I do want to ask you a question, and that is, have you got any dreams for the future? I'm going to talk a bit more about that at the end, but I want you, even if you want to stop the video now and just think about, what are my dreams? What are my hopes for the future? Because that's really going to drive us and help us take more care of us as we go on that journey. But more about that later. So today I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you need to take time away. Now, there's some evidence everywhere. There's so many statistics and research and all sorts of things about how important it is to actually take time away from your busy life. And it might not be that you're actually busy at work. You might be at home, you might be caring for grandchildren or your pets, or just life is busy and you get distracted. Or even if you're not busy, you might be just procrastinating and then you forget that, oh, I should be caring for myself, all of that. So I used to run this 12-week course called The Artist's Way. Well, Julia Cameron actually has a book called The Artist's Way. I just went and grabbed it off the shelf. I didn't have it here. As you can see, it's been well used. And The Artist's Way, I'm not going to go into all of it now, maybe another time, and you can look up other YouTubers and find out all about this book. Life-changing, oh my goodness, incredible. But there are 2 main things that Julia Cameron talks about, and it will make sense to you in a minute why I'm mentioning that. The first one is journaling. Again, we'll talk about that another time. But the other thing she suggests to do every week, and that is artist dates. Now, she encourages everyone and anyone to call themselves an artist, because we are all creative. Some of us might be doing more creative stuff than others, but you, my friend, are very creative. So in this book, she talks about artist dates. So one of her definitions is, a once weekly festive solo expedition to explore something that interests you. Think of it as an assigned play. It's time to nurture your creative inner child. So in other words, doing something that brings you joy, something you would not normally allow yourself to do. It might be going and watching a movie by yourself. It needs to be by yourself, by the way. Going snorkeling, driving for a number of hours and singing at the top of your voice in the car that you not normally do. I don't know, but there's so many different things. And for me, I love doing things like going to a cafe and just enjoying, a nice chai, or going into an op shop and having a look around. I actually have this routine every week when I'm working, where I go to a Lebanese cafe on the way to teaching, and I sit there and have my chai and might have a muffin or have something really yummy to eat that I would not normally do. And it's really enjoyable. I feel like a little bit indulgent, but it's so helpful. It's a really helpful time to just let my mind relax and not plan and be thinking about work too much. So Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way, it's actually a book, and I run the course. I've lost count of how many times I've run this course. As you can see, the book's been well used. It has been life-changing for me. Life-changing, people, amazing. So go and get it if you want to go down that track. She says basically we are all artists. You are an artist. You're a creative. And no matter how much you've spent studying or whatever, you have a creative soul. An artist date is a block of time, perhaps 2 hours weekly, especially set aside and committed to nurturing your creative consciousness, your inner artist. Its most primary form, the artist date, is an excursion, a play date that you pre-plan and defend against interlopers. In other words, no one else is allowed to be part of it. You do not take anyone on the artist date, but you and your inner artists. That means no lovers, friends, spouses, children, no taggers on of any stripe. And if you think this is stupid or that you'll never be able to afford the time, identify that reaction as resistance. You cannot afford not to find time for artist dates. Whatever you want to call it, it's so important. I have failed at this so many times, and now in the last few years have really made it a priority. And I have just come back from taking time away. 2 or 3 times a year, I actually take myself away to just have some time off. Sometimes I do spend a little bit of time working, but most of it is just going for walks, going into a cafe. I went recently to this amazing B&B, which I chose specifically because it had bed and breakfast. It had breakfast so that I could really treat myself. I hesitated to do it, but then I did, and I'm so glad I did because I had a great chat with the lady who owns the place. It was really cool. I don't know about you, but it isn't until you actually stop that you realize how fast you were going, or how much you were procrastinating, or spending time doing things that really weren't helping you relax. So the first reason you need to go on an artist date. Take yourself on a creative date, whatever you want to call it, or a date, just a date. But the first reason is to breathe. Okay, we are breathing every day, but are you conscious of your breath? Are you conscious of how much time you are busily running around? As I said, I love taking time each week to go and do something for myself, but I also go a few times a year away. And one of the places that I go, usually every winter, is, so I own a gallery on a mountain. I actually go to another mountaintop and I can look back at the gallery area. It's a long way away, but I still see the mountain from where I am. And it's a great way to get perspective. I go for these amazing walks with the cows in the paddocks and feel fully free. And there was one time where I just jumped because I was just having fun. I was doing some video and it was a bit of fun, but totally allowing time to just play. I did do a little bit of planning, but mostly playing, and I went out to a nice restaurant as well. Really treated myself, and I love doing that once a year because it gives me so much perspective. I also love going places that I haven't been for a long time. Recently, I went back to visit some friends I hadn't seen for 25 years. I went for a nice long drive, put the music on. I stopped and actually went up to this amazing place that has this huge cross. I remember seeing it when I was quite young. I reckon I might have been 8, looking up at this, and I was like, I really was determined it was actually just this week I went back and found it. I had to drive around this mountain. I'm like, I'm sure it's here somewhere, and went for a walk, found it, and it was a really amazing experience watching those clouds moving in the background and looking at the incredible flowers. Gosh, they really looked after that area. It was amazing. It was a memorial to the war time, so it was really lovely to go there and just to look out from a mountain. I had just been listening to a YouTube from Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett, and he was interviewing someone, and they were talking about the importance when you're not sure of the future or where you're feeling stressed is to actually get to a high place. Go and actually see things from a different perspective. And I really loved that. And I had that in my mind when I was thinking about going to that mountain. So that was just recently, and it was really refreshing. So as I was driving back, I realized that there was so many things from that time away that would really help project me forward into some new things coming ahead creatively. So the second reason is, and I've already really mentioned this, but why not go over it, is treating yourself. Treat yourself. You have not been treating yourself, possibly. And look, it is not easy. If you are a young mum and you have children, if you're caring for someone who really needs your care, if you're in challenging situations where time is really challenging, I know it's not easy to take time for you. Try and be a little bit creative. Maybe it is walking out to a different part of the yard, or taking a different route to go to pick up the groceries, or shopping, and just doing something a little bit different than what you normally would do. But I do encourage you, if you can, get out. Go and do some things that you would not normally do that you absolutely love. You might love going to galleries. You might love going to a library. You might want to go into op shops. Do some things that really bring you joy, but treat yourself. Number 3 is break the circuit. I'm smiling because these things can stop us from moving forward sometimes. They're great for a lot of things, but breaking that circuit sometimes is really helpful. I put my phone on the other side of the room when I go to bed, and I have made it. I've just started, since coming back from holidays, to tell myself, do not look at your phone in your bedroom. You take it out, get up, and go and, do a few things first and then go and check your emails. So we all have different ways of wanting to do that, but find ways that works for you, that works for me. Find ways to break the circuit, and not just with your phones, but breaking the circuit for that work sort of cycle, or that procrastinating cycle, or that challenging cycle, or whatever it is that you're finding is taking you away from treating yourself and giving yourself some time. Owning my own business takes a lot of my time, and if I don't go and break the circuit, I know I'm going to burn out, and I can sense it now. I can feel it when I've been working late hours. I'm like, stop Heather, slow down, go for a walk, go and do something different. And it's so super helpful. Probably wouldn't see where I'm making mistakes and wouldn't see where I need to adjust things. Just this year, I was actually running the Artist Way course over the last, 5 or 6 years. And it was every Thursday night, I think. And I actually made the choice during one Artist Way group to stop teaching the Artist Way. It was really hard for me, but I realized some weeks I was like teaching and working nearly every night of the week. It was just ridiculous. Gosh, it's hot again and my glasses keep slipping down. It's so hot today. I can't stop them from falling down. Maybe I'll just take them off again, but then I can't read my notes, but that's all right. All right, put them back on. So the fourth reason, creating joy and inspiration, and it really is a result of the other three. But I want to tell you how important and how vital and how real these particular four things are to you. Not only just coming up with more creative ideas and being more creative, but feeling better about yourself. And I don't know, there's something about it. I don't know about you, but growing up, we were sort of taught that you are the bit of the martyr. You've got to keep going, you've got to keep working and always giving out to everyone else sort of thing. And it's taken me a long time to sort of reprogram my brain and go, hold on, it's okay to say no, and it's okay to take more time to do something for myself that brings joy, that feels almost indulgent, but okay. It's so important. So you might be doing some of these things, and I think that's fantastic if you are, and you will be seeing those results. And I would love to hear any of your comments of, down below that, encourage other people along the way. And I really want to encourage those of you that do write comments. We're here to encourage and to uplift and help people be creative. So anything you want to put below that does that, and you might have other ideas of ways that people can take time to look after themselves. So please put some comments below if you've got some ideas. So when I do take these times, the joy comes because I start getting ideas for new creative projects or ways that I can help support my students or doing my online classes. And I'm always writing down little things in journals and being excited, and it really is helpful for getting the creative juices going. So another book, and thank you for those of you that love screenshotting my books and the encouragement that you've given me. I love it. Doing yoga and on your treadmill or whatever and in listening to me gave me a chuckle this week. So thank you. Thanks for all the comments. He talks about a guy called Milton Glaser. And if you don't know who he is one of the most famous graphic designers in the US and has done incredible things. Look him up. Amazing. But he was the guy who designed the I Love New York logo. And he was assigned to come up with a logo that sort of represented New York. And I'll just read you this. So for Glaser, the I Love You New York ad is a testament to the importance of persistence because he refused to stop thinking about the three-word slogan. He kept on redrawing the logo in his mind. His ideas continued to improve. And then, while stuck in a taxi, this steadfast logo led to a new design, a better design. The graphic that he imagined in rush hour traffic has become the most widely imitated work of graphic art in the world. Now, I don't want to focus on the fact that he, wouldn't stop thinking about it, sort of. But my point is, it wasn't until he was in the taxi, when he was away from his desk, when he was away from doodling and thinking about it, that the actual idea came. He may not have actually, deliberately taken time away, but when he was away from that situation, that's when it happened. I always remember having that in my mind when I'm creating things, and sometimes it's really good to just take yourself out of the situation and then the creative juices will flow. So my conclusion is, as you will have picked up from this video, is to take some time out, to breathe, to treat yourself, to break the circuit. Then the joy will come and the inspiration will come. And like I said at the start of the video, I wanted to encourage you to think about things that you're dreaming about, things that you want to achieve. I have a free gift for you, a download below, which is at www.paintingwithheather.com/dreams. And it's a document that will help you dream and think forward into the future. And what I encourage you to do, take some time away, take this document away, get away from all the hustle and bustle of whatever you're doing right now and take some time to dream. I really, really, really encourage you to care for you. I'm saying that only because I have not done that in the past, and I've seen how detrimental it was to my health. There was times when I couldn't walk. My back was just so stuffed. I've had, infections. You have no idea. There were so many things go wrong, and many of you have probably had a lot more worse things than me. I don't want you to have to go through anything that can be prevented, which is to do with that burnout. So please look after yourself. I want you to take this free gift. There's a link below. Go and think about your dreams and go and take time for yourself. Value that you have dreams, and it's not about anyone else. This is about you, and you're allowed to do that. Treat yourself to think about your dreams and move forward in them, because you're going to do it. You're going to move forward there. If you take that time to dream about the future, your mind will be thinking about that and everything will fall into place, my friend, I'm sure. All right, until next time, keep being creative and keep looking after yourself and treating yourself too. See ya.